Spirit Airlines collapsing, I had to change my flight very quickly, and I could not get a visa, so I was actually stuck in the Moscow airport for about 2 days. And they do have a Russia Today pavilion there, and it shows all the different areas like Middle East RT, American RT. And what was interesting to me, it was the first time I ever actually saw a truly critical viewpoint of U.S. foreign policy in a mass media outlet, and it was very eye-opening to see that. In a moment, Yossi is going to pass out a visual aid I have made to kind of maybe get you in the mindset of what I learned from that, which was, to be critical of media, especially our media, when it talks about what the U.S. is doing. If you're familiar with the movie They Live, Roddy Piper had a set of glasses where he could look at things like advertising and see what they were actually saying, what the capitalists, imperialists, or aliens, in his case, actually doing. And so that's what this is. It shows the headline, and these are all real headlines, and what you might see, or maybe what you should be seeing and thinking of when you see these headlines. And on the very back, there's just some interesting things from the U.S. military. So NATO and the U.S. do not work to maintain peace any more than a dictator with absolute power maintains peace. U.S. military policy is to maintain a unipolar world. It may serve American and Western interests, but by that they mean the interests of the owning classes, war profiteers, and those who benefit from the continued exploitation of the global South and the working class. So anyone who is anti-war really must recognize the hypocrisy of the U.S. and NATO lecturing and condemning other countries for being imperialist, being fascist, or committing war crimes. Those truly dedicated to peace understand that we need to work for peace in our own nation first and counter the biggest threat to global security, the U.S. and NATO. The casualties of war are always the same: peace, democracy, freedom, truth, the arts and sciences, the environment, and of course, the working class. Those who benefit are always the same too: war profiteers, capitalists, far-right reactionaries. To pretend this is only the case for Putin and Russia, and people the U.S. doesn't happen to be allied with at the time, is very naive. So, if the U.S. and NATO nations are to have any right to claim that other nations are fascist or are committing war crimes or is imperialist, we must first abandon our own imperialist ambitions, close all foreign military bases and operations on land, sea, and in outer space, close the School of the Americas, the CIA, and end all espionage and activities that manipulate other nations into serving the interests of U.S. oligarchs, value diplomacy and camaraderie over acting as the world's police, or forcing less wealthy countries into submission with military force. Reduce military personnel and transition them into peacetime roles, and end all military aid to far-right dictatorships. We must demilitarize and dismantle all weapons of mass destruction, drastically reduce military spending, and transition the Pentagon and other military agencies to truly defensive and peaceful operations. Third, we must stop being the world's biggest war profiteers, and the sale and manufacture of weapons of war and ammunition that's used in every major conflict across the globe, nationalize the for-profit war industries, and transition them into activities that serve the victims of the peace wars, and eliminate all government spending on private military contractors and mercenaries. Fourth, acknowledge the crimes history honestly and honor those who fought oppression, war, and imperialism as the heroes we should emulate, rather than deifying those who benefited from exploitation and violence. And lastly, cancel all foreign debt owed by the global south to wealthy nations, and all support, funding, and collaborations with groups like the World Bank and IMF, and transition the economy away from a capitalist system that serves the private profit of the powerful to a socialist economy that values human need over corporate greed. I want to thank you all for coming out today and for your time. And in closing, I encourage everyone here to talk to your peers, your coworkers, your friends, everyone you can about U.S. imperialism and fascism. And if you can, frame your message in such a way that it appeals to their values. So many of our peers have not heard a truthful narrative on these issues and only know imperialist propaganda. No war but the class war. No World War III.
Thank you so much.